All right, welcome to War Media NFL playoff recap. The championship round is in the bag, and we're headed to the Super Bowl. Not us, literally, but not eventually, right? I hope the Bears, hopefully, right? But it's going to be the Eagles and Chiefs this year.
I mean, forget about the
And
Bears. Just me. I would like to go to. I would like
true,
to go
true. Yeah, you're right.
to.
you got to want to get there soon, right? So yeah, hopefully.
Right.
But I'm here with Kenneth Davis, who again you can see on the Under Center podcast, and Joe Tanksley, who you see on Bears pre and post, as well as here on the NFL recaps. How we doing today, guys? How we doing, Ken?
Pretty good.
Doing
Pretty
well,
good.
man. I appreciate you guys bringing me on. Always a great time seeing you gentlemen and talking a little bit of sports.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain.
Nice. So we'll start with, of course, the Eagles and the 49ers. I mean, this is probably, the easiest game to, start off with because it was, it just, there was not much to talk about in the sense of on the 49ers side because they had all the different quarterbacks that tried me. At one point, it looked like Christian McCaffrey was going to go in there, but the Eagles win 31-7. Brock Purdy, of course, is going to be out for 6 months with that UCL injury. But want to get you guys just your first thoughts on this game overall. We'll start with you, Joe. What are your initial thoughts on this 49ers Eagles game?
Going into the game, I already thought I had a feeling that the Eagles were going to win. But just with them having a rookie quarterback and in the way that the Eagles play defense and how aggressively they play, I thought that Brock Purdy was going to look like a rookie in this game. But when he got hurt, and then they didn't have any answer. Then it just it was a very odd football game, and I feel bad because the 49ers. Well, I don't feel bad. I mean, but it was bad to watch because they couldn't compete. Really, they really didn't have a chance to compete. But that's how the game goes. I'd be interested to see in the future if they, come up with a different kind of rule as far as an emergency quarterback, because, for the watchability of the game, it was awful.
What about you, Ken? What were your initial thoughts on this game?
I'm going to go back to what he's finished with. It seems like, and we've seen a lot of people mention it, that they're going to bring back the three quarterbacks eligible, the emergency quarterback, if the two quarterbacks are out. They're going to bring that back probably. And we'll wait and see. The league year, it hasn't restarted yet. It's going to take until after the Super Bowl, of course. But yeah, it's funny. We were texting, and Alex Shapiro, our Bears beat reporter, was like, why don't you just put Christian McCaffrey or Debo in and Wildcat? And I'm just like, I didn't even answer it at first because it's going to be bad after a series and a half. Like, what are they going to, all right, pitch this way. They're like, and again, it would be bad against any defense, but the Eagles? So initially, and this is what I said on, I was a guest on Football Night in America. Josh Schrock, our Bears insider for NBC Sports, was the host. And we were talking about this. And initially, he was going with the 49ers, but on that episode, he was like, I'm coming over to you. I was the Eagles all day. They were going to beat that man's ass. And I like the story of Brock Purdy, and I still think he can be a viable starter. But when you have not even just a rookie that's only like 9 to 10 games in, and you're at game 20, basically, like a week 20. I mean, to say you're at like week 20, dude, assault him. And I mean, in a football sense, especially when you have a front four that's gotten over 70 sacks year to date. All right. Like, we're not going to take it. And it'd be different if he was mobile. It'd be different if he had a shotgun arm. And I'll say this, even if he had both, playing as a rookie against a defense like that, chances were you probably were going to lose, even with one of the brighter offensive minds at head coach and Kyle Shanahan. But so I never had the 49ers winning because the Eagles were going to make Brock Purdy look like a rookie at some point. And I thought they were going to hurt him. I didn't think they were going to injure him with the fifth play in the second series. But I did think they w're going to put a whooping on him because it's and I hate to say, I don't hate to say it's football. It's common sense. We're coming. We're coming. Like it's the playoffs. We can be more physical. We're coming. And it wasn't a dirty play by Hakeem Reddick. But when you saw the play, my first thought when I saw the play was, damn, I think his arm is hurt. I didn't think messed up. But I was like, that didn't hurt his arm. Because when you're throwing full, like he didn't even get, it'd be different if he got here and he hit it. Mm-hmm. He was here and Brock Purdy, this also shows you the strength of Brock Purdy. He went through it, but it was collapsed and he went through Joe playing at a collegiate level. Like, no, it was like, dude, look, the first series, I was like, damn, they own this boy already, right? And then, like, when that happened, I didn't know he was out. I was like, damn, they hurting this boy, right? But when they were like, oh, you saw him on the sideline trying to grab the ball, it was like, oh, he's out. And this is the crazy part. All three of us are football guys, sports guys, football guys. I've never in my life, and maybe I'm wrong and I'm being ignorant at this point, meaning not knowing. I've never in my life known who Josh Johnson was. And he's played for 13 years, the 49ers 3 times, and played on 13 teams. How can he play on 13 teams? And I'm like, dude, you know, like, who was this all in the AFC? Like, just saying, like, I don't know. When he came in, I'm like, who? Like, I never knew who Josh Johnson was until this. And Josh Johnson was ready to go. Clearly he was concussed, but Josh Johnson never thought he was going to be thrust into a playoff game. Right? Shuddy's collecting a check. But yeah, that was my thought was the Eagles were going to win. The 49ers were not going to be able to put up enough points to deal with the Eagles offense. And the Eagles offense, it wasn't a situation where Jalen Hurts went off through the air, but he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? They have the best offensive line of football. And I didn't think, when you look at the fact that the 49ers, their defense can keep teams under 20, but they may only be able to get to 20, that they were going to be able to stop an Eagles team that, if need be, can get to 30. My last part before I end. If they weren't playing, if the Eagles weren't, if the Eagles offense wasn't playing the 49ers defense, all right, whatever team in the NFC they would have faced, they would have put up 50 points on. So still shout out to the 49ers defense, because that Eagles offense would have blown through every other team. That 31 points looks bad. It looks bad because Brock Purdy was out. So it's all 3 and outs damn near. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's time. The amount of time that the offense has on the field is shortened. The defense is tired because they're on the field a lot more. But if any other team, the Eagles would have put 50 up on that ass. Believe you me.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. I mean, the Eagles had to work hard for that 31 points. And they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, can you imagine if my spicy prediction of the Giants being the Eagles? But we don't have to get into that.
No, we don't.
You like a little you like a little reefer, huh? No, I'm joking. You had the Giants beating the Eagles?
I was like, I wanted to pick one spicy like pick. I don't want to just be like, I'm gonna go with all this and that, like whatever logic. And then and I was like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick this one just because they play each other all the time, and I know they beat them twice. But I was like, hey, you know, Kyle had my back last week. He's like, hey, I mean, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and I was like, all right, yeah, there you go. But I knew it was blatantly hideously wrong. But can you imagine if like the prediction would have gone and the Giants would have faced the had to face or sorry, not the Giants. Either way, it would have been as hideous, regardless of who went there. But anyways,
the 49ers wouldn't have been still in the game. The 49ers actually against the Giants.
Oh, with the Giants,
still had a chance. They would have still had a chance.
Yeah, my fault. Thinking about the other side. But no, speaking of Josh Johnson, though, I had it pulled up because I was on the same track of mind as you, Ken. I was like watching. I was like looking at my screen, like who? I was like the Snoop Dogg gif. I was like, who? Because yeah, I've never heard of this guy. And yeah, he started in 2009 with the Buccaneers, and he played from 2009 to 11 on the Buccaneers.
Can I cut you off short? Let me pause you real quick.
Yeah.
My first thought was, is this Josh Freeman? And when you bring up the Buccaneers, it's funny. Because I was like, you know how you lie to yourself?
You know what? That's who I confused him with, Josh Freeman.
I was like, no, it's Johnson. I looked at his skin color. I'm like, he's not light skinned. I'm like, I don't know this guy, but please continue, Saul.
Ken,
when you said the Bucks, I had to.
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing. I was like, where they said Josh Johnson, I immediately thought about Josh Freeman. But when I saw him, I was like, no, that's not the same
that's not
guy.
Josh Freeman.
Like who is this guy?
Who is it? But no, give us more of the data and the history. I'm honest. I want to know.
Yeah.
Like what teams does he play? Because clearly I've been oblivious. We've been oblivious to it.
Yeah. So he played at San Diego for college, if you want to know. He's 36 years old, his full bio. He started in 2009, played from 2009 to 2011 on the Buccaneers. Then in 2012 went to the Browns. Then in 2013 to the Bengals. And then 2021 Jets. 2021 he was with the Jets and the Ravens. And now 49ers. But he hasn't.
This dude is like the Van Wilder of quarterback.
he's like those guys that you have as. He's probably one of those things where he's one of those guys that when there's you have an injured quarterback or he's on the practice squad, he comes in for a game like just to be the backup or whatever. But he hasn't played more than let's see, he played 2 games this year, 1 game 21 or sorry 4 games in 20 and 21. Then 4 games in 18, 2 and 13. Yeah, so like he hasn't actually got a full chance of like playing since 11.
He played
for
the
Washington.
In
Washington. Yeah, in 2018 to 2013, there's a 5-year gap. He actually didn't even show up in the NFL.
So what team did he initially get a game for?
Like his first ever?
Yeah.
The Buccaneers in 2009.
Okay, then did he play for the bank? You said the Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals Bengals in 2013, Browns in 2012.
Did he play any games for either of said team?
Yeah, he did. He played a 1 game with the Browns, 2 games with the Bengals.
I feel like I may have saw him then. But I feel like those were the times I may have seen him and been like, who is that brother out there then? But I sure had no recollection in this game this past Sunday.
Yeah, no, I had never in my life seen this guy.
Who is this man? I've never seen this man before, as Kiki Palmer would say. I don't know this man.
I don't know. That's a great meme, man.
I feel sorry for this man.
Yeah,
especially after he got concussed.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that he comes in, everyone's wondering who this guy is, and I was actually worried that he gets him by the end of the game. Yeah. I was like, oh man, he gets hit from the back, and I was like, oh man, it was bad. But regardless, respect to the Eagles. I thought if I will say this, and Ken, you know more than me, so obviously you were saying that he was gonna get smoked, but I thought Purdy at least put up a fight, and it was gonna be more competitive. But obviously they hit him pretty bad, and
they would have been able to move the ball. They would have been able to move the ball. I mean, that team necessarily doesn't move the ball vertically like that, but they would have been able to get the ball to their playmakers in space and not just space situations where their guys are blocking downfield and they're scheming it up. So they would have. It would have been a situation. I thought let's just take a case in point. I think the game could have been like 27-21 or 24. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so if Purdy stayed healthy the entire game. Now that game sounds like it's more contentious, but we would have known that the Eagles offense was potent enough against that defense. And also to a certain degree, because they knew at a certain point, they knew basically by the first quarter that the 49ers weren't going to be able to do nothing. So they didn't have to keep, showing plays that perhaps they didn't want to show and doing things that they didn't necessarily have to do. I'm sure they were trying to get, and we saw in the third quarter where Jalen, because look, the 49ers kept it close. The game was over at 0-7. But the 49ers kept it close for a long period of time where we know their offense couldn't do nothing for how well their defense played. You know what I'm saying? But it came to the point where Jalen Hurts showed, I'm still run this ball, and I'm going to let you know why this RPO was so scary. You know what I'm saying? That it's like, oh, damn, here we go. And that's when the Fred Warners and the Mafungas and all those other guys, I'm gonna slow you down because you're not gonna come popping out because you don't know if I'm gonna let this ball go to whoever I'm holding this ball, put in their stomach, or if I'm gonna hold this ball for myself. So it's just one of those things that I still believe the Eagles would have won the game, but having someone who can really run Kyle Shanahan's system at a strong 85%. Maybe it's 75%, but I mean a strong 75%. Because there's still things that dude, people don't realize this. I got into a silly argument with a buddy of mine because he was gotten all on Kyle Shanahan's not having said Josh Johnson ready. And I'm like, how many reps do the fourth string guy get when the third string guy's only played 9 games in the NFL and he's literally Mr. Irrelevant in this past season's draft? Like, I don't know if you know, but we don't run like any football team you've ever played on. We ain't, dude, that's practice squad stuff as far as the reps that he's getting. We're not gonna be like, yo, listen, we got to make sure Josh is ready, and give him live reps. All right, with the guy who's only played 9 games and got no reps in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? No reps in camp. Like, nobody was like, we got to get Brock Purdy ready before Jimmy G went out. Like, just like, it's just one of those things sometimes. So that's just
there was a silly argument there. This in the NFL schedule with the way these guys practice, there's simply just not enough time to get another guy ready. It's just not.
Yep. just
especially with the new rules. Especially like the last CBA, and you're talking about where the limited on practice, the limited hidden. It's not like it's just even still. You're not going to go into the NFC Championship game and be like, let's make sure Josh Johnson. You're not expecting Brock Purdy to go down. Like, that's not how many. I'll put it like this, just to simplify it. How many times are you entering the game where your quarterback hasn't already been injured? Now, this is different. If we're coming in and our quarterback is already iffy, there could be a chance where you are spending a tad bit more time with that quarterback's backup. But if you're coming in with a healthy quarterback, how many reps are you going to give to the guy behind him that you don't expect to play, let alone this guy was 4th straight? Like, okay, this is enough of us talking about that. So let me get back to the show.
Is go ahead and do your thing. The Josh Johnson episode.
Right.
But no, yeah, I mean, it's I will say this too also about the Eagles, that this game, I'm sure, I mean, even despite what happened with the quarterback situation on San Francisco, that I hope that what they did to the defense of, San Francisco, like, I hope it gets them a little more respect. Because I've said this before on here that, like, the Eagles, the whole season, like, people are, been saying, like, this is about their schedule, this and that. They've gotten a lot of scrutiny. So hopefully this is kind of, them making it to the Super Bowl, regardless of what happened, gets them a little more respect. And now this is obviously going to be the real test with them against the Chiefs. But on the other side, of course, the Chiefs were able to take care of the Bengals barely, I guess you could say, 23-20. But, I mean, it was a great game, like always, between these two teams. What did you guys think about this game? I mean, this obviously we'll probably see this a few more times before these guys, retire. But, they got a long way to go. But we'll start with you, Ken. What did you think about this Bengals Chiefs matchup?
I don't mean to be rude. I was just talking long. Let's let my man Champ go ahead and he can say what he has to say.
Go ahead, Joe.
It's cool. So I thought the game was very entertaining. As you know, Saul, I'm a Joe Burrow fan, and I was disappointed in the Bengals' loss, but I had to take my hats off to Patrick Mahomes and the way he gutted out that performance, because he was literally on one leg, and he proved that he was an all-time great, that Sunday, and it just sucks for what's his name, Joseph Asai, to have it go down that way and have it come down, but got to play with discipline, and the Bengals bit off more than they could chew. They talked a little bit too much and didn't back it up. You got to finish the game, and they didn't do it. And somebody like Patrick Mahomes, you gotta dig the hole and you gotta bury him, and they didn't do it.
It's facts. He spoke the truest facts that can ever be spoken about anything. So I mean, it's one of those things. I want to just put something up here real quick. You know what I'm saying, that for everyone watching this, and I'm sorry that I'm taking a little bit of time while I'm doing this. And wasting everyone's time, because there's some things it's just we have to appreciate in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just some things I'm wasting too much time. Now here we go. All right, let me hit this real quick. You son of a... All right, hold on. Anyway, this is the thing. I mean, I'm not even gonna waste my time. There's a reason that in his second year in NFL, I nicknamed him and coined the phrase that Madden used it. They didn't pay me the money, but you saw what they had when they had Tom Brady and him on the cover. All right. Let you know they know. Baby Goat is gonna do baby goat shit. All right. And there's a reason that I named him Baby Goat in year 2, because he is Baby Goat. Like Joe said, he had one dog. You can't beat him on one leg, and Tyreek Hill is in Miami. Right. And the thing is that people don't know this. Joe will appreciate this. People thought this year with Kansas City, it's going to be a learning year. What it was is, let's get back to football. Because we had this super weapon that instead of doing fundamental football at sometimes, we lean too heavy on the fact that we have this coverage breaker where teams just was like, you know what? One, your offensive line is trash to a certain degree. In the past, this year's got it improved. But I'm dropping 7 back. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tyreek Hill may get a little something, but he ain't getting that home run hit. So you're not going to be able to do that. And you're also going to waste time looking for it instead of taking what they give you and then exploiting the fact that you have players that can do more, or you can scheme to do more. And also running the ball more when you look at Pachinko. You know what I'm saying? Like the problem, this is another player. The biggest problem in Buffalo, they want Josh Allen to be Superman every damn game. He can be Superman, but you don't want him to be super. Run the damn ball. Play fundamental football. Take what's there. All right. You can't. I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why you don't want to hit home runs all the time. 1, you can't. That's the first rule. 2, time on the clock. It's part of the reason why the greatest show on turf didn't win the second Super Bowl is because when Mike Martz became the head coach of the St. Louis Rams, he forgot that, you know what? Yeah, Marshall Faulk is a great receiver, but he's also a fantastic running back. Run the ball and take some time off the clock. The problem with the Rams and the problem sometimes with the Chiefs, they're scoring too quick. You need time for your defense to sit and rest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like that's what like the people don't understand. Like, if you're scoring and we coming out here and in a minute and a half, 2 minutes, we're scoring, our defense is back out here right away. No, take time, run the ball, let your defense rest, take time off the clock from allowing their offense to be on the field. And that's what helped Kansas City this year get back to fundamental football with Tyreek Hill leaving. But getting back to this game, Joe said it. They talk. It's no way they should have done that Burrowhead thing. They should have been saying Burrowhead Sunday night after beating Kansas City. They should have been like, man, Burrowhead. You don't say that before the game. Listen, if they were playing for instance, if they were playing maybe Buffalo, but it would have got Buffalo amped up. If they were playing Buffalo and they pulled that mess, cool. And another thing about the Buffalo game that people know, but they keep forgetting. Buffalo doesn't have a pass rush, particularly without Von Miller. Cincinnati Bengals had 3 reserve offensive linemen out there that we really didn't see get exploited because it was snow on the damn ground. So it wasn't like they, even with a below average defensive line in Buffalo, they couldn't get off the ball. So when you saw what Kansas City did, was like, oh, you got some backups out here. We about to do it. You know what I'm saying? We're about to single up, you know what I'm saying, with Chris Jones. We going for it because now they got 3. It's one thing to have 1, maybe 2. They had 3 offensive linemen out. Like, come on. Again, Joe Burrow is a bad man. Don't get it twisted and confused. But when people was talking that crap last year, Dan Orlovsky last week, I meant to say that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback and Patrick Mahomes is the best player. Miss me with that shit. All right. Patrick Mahomes is both. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. And the thing is, where sometimes with Tom Brady, you could argue that Tom Brady was the best quarterback, but you think about athleticism, that just everything. No, that's the best player and the best quarterback in the NFL when you're talking about baby goat Patrick Mahomes. Put some damn respect on his name. Don't come up in here talking that foolishness. You haven't done it. You did. Now, I'll say this too. Had Cincinnati won the Super Bowl last year, their chest should be puffed out more against the team that they've been 3-0 against with one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, right? The greatest, one of the greatest. He's not the greatest yet. He has to win more Super Bowls, but one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. If they pulled that off last year, yeah, but y'all haven't even won a Super Bowl. Like when you're comparing some of these players to a guy that's been to the AFC Championship game in a row as many times, I think it's as many times, if not, he's getting close to Tom Brady, and that AFC was trash when Tom Brady was doing it. That was a bad AFC. You know what I'm saying? This is the AFC has every quarterback you want in the league damn near now. You know what I'm saying? So like it's not even the same AFC that Patrick Mahomes is going through, even in his own division. Who the hell was Tom Brady going through in the AFC East? Who? The Jets with Chad Pennington? Like who? Like what team with Mark Sanchez? What team? Who? I don't even know who was on the Dolphins during that period because it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Who was in Buffalo? Fitzmagic? Like just think about, and it's not a knock on him, but think about how weak the division was for a large chunk outside of what's the name I forget his name Buddy Ryan's son being the head coach of the Jets. That was really one of the only team. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's really one of the only times that there was like most of the time that wasn't a threat. Patrick Mahomes has one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in the NFL in his own division. All right, in Justin Herbert. All right, he has a washed who may come back now. Russell Wilson in his division. He had a guy that I didn't trust, but a lot of other people trusted in Derek Carr in his division. All right, just in his division. All right, let's not talk about getting out of his division where you have Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. All right, and also this is the thing too. All these quarterbacks that the Colts are going to draft, that the Texans are going to draft, that like just think about the quarterbacks in the AFC in general when you're talking about what baby goat Patrick Mahomes has to go into with the team that's hit up cap wise because he's making a half a billy. All right, but it's just right. That's all for my rant, and I apologize again. So when it's Patrick Mahomes time, I'm ready. I was rest to go. All right, I don't play. I'm a heterosexual dude, but just like that clip, that's mine. Yes, I'm gonna stay with him because on the show on the Under Center, I was like, my head tells me to go with the Bengals, but my heart, I'm going with the Chiefs, and that's my squad. So I look like a punk abandoning them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to ride. I had to ride anyway, but yeah, I was riding with the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs were going to win it. I mean, in general, because one, it seemed like Patrick Mahomes was going to be able to get it done throughout the week. I didn't know he was going to be as limpy as early he was through in that game, but common sense tells you that with the high ankle sprain, that it wasn't going to be healed enough. Maybe with this 2 weeks, and he's still going to tweak it in the Super Bowl. Like he's going to retweak that because you don't know which way you're going to run, which way you're going to dip, twist, and let alone some other grown ass man or two is going to be on top of you while you're trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to re-injure you in the first place or re-trigger it in the first place. But I thought they was going to do it, and like Joe said, they was talking way too much for them. At that point, sneak in low, right? Sneak in like don't be like, yo, they're a great team. We respect them. Then smash their face in and then talk all the trash that you want to talk.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, all week it just kept saying Burrowhead, and then like even at the end of the game they were like at the end of the game they were saying you could see the NFL media cameras. They were just like, we're going to Burrow. We'll see you at Burrowhead. They were just saying that the whole time. So
you saw you saw what Travis Kelce said.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is that I was like, I mean, since the beginning of playoffs, my pick has been the Chiefs to win it all. I'm like, they're probably gonna win it. Obviously, now it's a little tougher because of his injury. But I mean, I still have a chance, obviously. But I was cheering
for
the
just a chance.
They're gonna win. I mean, I picked them to win. So I got
you. No, because I mean, with the Eagles and that running game,
yeah.
It's something else, but go ahead. I apologize. I don't mean.
No, you're good. No, but I was gonna say I was cheering for my boy Joe Shiesty, but it just didn't work out this year, And then and I will say also another thing with Mahomes, and you mentioned it with Isaiah Pacheco, and like that dude is a bad man. Like I feel like he's like, and this is just the beginning. I feel like he almost looks like it's like almost like a baby Debo. I don't know. I just like some of the plays they have have him up. That they had for him, and it's been the whole the first 2 games in the playoffs for them. Like they've utilized him like this, and I mean the whole season. But I'm saying like the world's seeing him now for the type of player he is, and I mean he's even got the dance moves. I saw this this video of him dancing after the yeah. There you go. See,
he can't dance better than Kyler Gordon though.
That's true. I give you that one right there. But I think that's gonna be a good place to wrap things up because we'll preview the Super Bowl next week in next week's NFL playoff preview. But for this week, I want to thank Ken Davis for coming on for this one, and hopefully we'll see what we can do. Work something out next week as we can have you on. But of course, you can see him on NBC Sports Chicago's Under Center podcast. And I want to thank Joe Tanksley as well for coming on. And hopefully, hey, I will say this. I'm sure you guys are going to watch the Pro Bowl, but whoever watches it, enjoy it. You can watch Tyler Huntley on there and all all those guys in there. And it's they have the flag football game now, right? So it's like
right.
So.
Well, it's also the chat. But see, the thing is too, you kind of get what we got to watch. I used to love the QB challenge as a kid.
Yeah, right.
And Randall Cunningham used to just not kill everybody. Right? It used to be like, here goes Randall. He's about to throw the ball longer than all these guys. So those things like that are fun to see those type of challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so that part I look forward to.
Yeah, that's the only thing that growing up, like I maybe like the first few years I watched football, I was like, I'll watch the Pro Bowl, see, but then I kind of found out what it was. Now I just would watch. Now I just really watch the skills challenges either like on YouTube or something like after. Like I just don't really care to watch the game, obviously. But now with the flag football, obviously, yeah, we'll see what happens there if they even keep it and a lot of people calling
it feels like Rock and Jock.
Yeah,
right.
So I mean, yeah, it's like. Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen.
I mean, they might as well add some celebrities to it and just make it an event.
Oh, that's true. That's
please
true.
Don't add celebrities to it. Please don't add celebrities to
Ken
it.
Davis. Ken Davis, come on down.
That's not like no, please don't. I'm cool with the Rocket Jock aspect, and I know Rocket Jock means celebrity and jock, but still, no, like that. Like I don't need the 5-point 3-point shot or however you would try to figure that out in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Also, to anybody watching this, also 5:30 every Wednesday, you can check out the Under Center podcast until we switch off to probably some White Sox talk on NBC Sports. And this Friday, or perhaps tomorrow, I will be the host on Football Night in Chicago at 6 p.m. So make sure you tune in and check that out.
All right. For Saul Rodriguez, Ken Davis, Joe Tanksley, everyone enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Peace.